Hi, everyone. Welcome back to learning how to make your state report A to Z book. If you have questions about how to replace an image or change your background or insert a text box, change the color, the font, the size, move the box around, all that information is in the previous video. This video is going to be more about how to add multiple pictures, maybe how to add a picture on top of a background that's a picture. So we're just going to explore a couple different options. So you can see that page A is pretty basic. It's pretty plain, and that's okay if that's what you want to do. But there definitely are other options. Like I showed you, the letter B, we can use a picture as the background, right? I can change the color and stuff like that. One thing I want you to do, I didn't say this in the last video, so hopefully you're watching these. One thing I want you to do is keep your the A is for animal. See how that's the letter A? It's a color red, and then the word animal was red. And then on this one, the letter B was orange and bird was orange. I think that would help you keep it looking professional. So maybe that's one recommendation I have for you is make the letter B and what it stands for the same color. And maybe have this, like the word bird, or this example, the word animal was a different font that stands out. I think that's a good idea. Again, you don't have to, but it might help you keep it professional. Notice I'm not like changing the color of every letter, right? I'm trying to make it look like a book, and so I want it to look, again, professional. So let's go to this slide. Remember, if you're not sure how I got that slide, remember you're just going to be given this letter A slide when you open up your Google Slides on Google Classroom. So I showed you how to do letter B in the last video. Let's go ahead and copy one of these over. It doesn't matter which one. I guess we'll just copy this one. So remember, I right click on it and I do change back. No, I'm sorry. I right click on it and do duplicate slide. I'm going to do an exact copy of it over here. So now I have A, B, B. On the second letter B, we're going to start changing things, right? Because now it's the letter C, and I believe C is for cities. And I maybe want it to be, I'm going in rainbow order just on mine, but you, again, can do whatever works best for you. Or if you want to keep it all looking like, every time it's red or something like that, that's fine too. Does not matter. You just want it to look pretty nice. Okay, so remember this information is not going to be there because it's about cities. So I kind of like to get rid of that stuff first. And now I don't want a picture of seagulls here. I want to start doing things about cities, right? And I'm pretending that this is Utah. So in a previous one that I made, we're just going to talk about some major and well-known cities in Utah are Salt Lake City, Ogden, St. George, Park City, and Provo. The state capital of Utah is Salt Lake City. This is how we used to do our A to Z books, but now we're doing them a lot cooler. So I would go like this. I want to change the background right now. I'm going to try to go to find a picture of maybe Salt Lake City since that's the state capital. That might be a great idea. So I go to let me make sure you followed that. I went to slide, change background, and then I'm going to choose an image. Remember, a Google image search. So if it was over here by upload, it's okay. You just go Google image search. And I am going to type for Salt Lake City, Utah. I'm going to pick a photo that's going to maybe look good across the whole background. Now remember, it's about cities, not necessarily like beautiful landscape. Like those mountains are pretty. But maybe I want a picture of actual Salt Lake City. And I think that one looks pretty good. So I'm going to choose the Salt Lake City one. And I just click done. Okay, so C is for cities is still there. What's interesting about this picture is now the is for doesn't look very good. I can't see it very well. So I'm actually going to move my C over here, maybe in the mountain area, and move the is for to where it might be able to be seen better, like right there. I still don't think it looks super great. I could even do it across the top. So you're just going to kind of play around with where you want this item to be. Whoops, I accidentally moved something. What do you do if you accidentally move something? You can delete it. You can push edit undo if that happens to you, right? You got a lot of options. Whoops, letter C. So I don't like the word cities right there. I am going to put cities down here. Maybe it'll run across the bottom more. I don't know. I think I might move it down here. C is for. Here's the deal. I'm not loving the is for in black right now. I think it's just not working out very well with this particular photo, so I'm going to change it. That's pretty good. Maybe I'll make it bold. Expand the box. I'll bring this one down. C is for cities. Okay, so you can choose, remember, to make this your own thing. You don't need to copy what Ms. Fisher's doing. It's just some ideas. So C is for cities, and maybe I want that one more in the tree area. What happens if you accidentally delete something? You can do edit, undo what you just did. So don't ever panic about that. And maybe you made lots of mistakes. You just keep doing edit, undo, edit, undo. So I like this one probably more in a straight line. I don't know. I like it like that. Okay, C is for cities. Now, this I would have to talk about not just Salt Lake City, but you're supposed to talk about a couple of different cities, I think, or well-known cities in your state. So I could put other pictures on top of here, but it might look silly with a picture of a city on top of another city, right? So then now I'm thinking, well, maybe this isn't the best background, and maybe for this one, I should change the slide background, to just a plain color. Maybe I'll do black this time. Remember though, I chose, so now it looks like this. The picture of Salt Lake City is gone. And maybe now I'm just going to put a bunch of photos of all the different cities I want to talk about. So maybe the first thing I'll do is insert a text box so that I can give my information here. Remember, I want to talk about all the cities. And you're going to have to type this up from your blue state report packet. Mine is just already done here, so I'm going to paste it there. Remember if you ever paste something, right, it's going to be black. So having a black background with this is not helpful. I can just change the font to white after I highlight it. Also, it's just too big to fit in that original box, so I just changed the size. Just having a good time with that. Okay. Some of the major and well-known cities in Utah are Salt Lake City, Ogden, St. George, Park City, and Provo. The state capital of Utah is Salt Lake City. Now, with this information, I am double checking, especially for your grade, that you have 3 to 5 sentences. And right now, I only have 2. That is technically 1 sentence. And then I have the state capital of Utah. So I might want to find out what the population is of Salt Lake City or something. The population of Salt Lake City is, and then I would need to find that information out, right? Because I needed to have 3 to 5 sentences. If it doesn't fit in your text box, you can make it bigger. Ms. Fisher just put this blank line so that I can, if I'm referring to myself in third person, I should keep it in third person. Sorry, I put this blank line here so that I can make sure I find the population of Salt Lake City. I'm not done researching is what I mean. Okay, do I want it white? I don't know. I might want it yellow just like the other things. To change the font, you have to click inside and highlight. I forgot to do that. And change the color. Okay. Now I'm going to maybe try to put multiple city pictures like that one of Salt Lake City. It was beautiful. Maybe I'll try to find a picture of Ogden. I've seen all of them. That's one option as well. So I go, instead of changing the whole background, because I want it black like this, I go insert image. And I need to search the web for an image. And the last thing I searched was the elk. This time I'm going to search Salt Lake City. And I have a couple different options, right? Again, I'm looking for that city picture. I liked that one. So I click it, I push insert, and it made it pretty big, which is pretty cool. But maybe I want to resize it. So I just shrink the size. I can move the box around. It's pretty cool. Here are some other elements you can add to pictures. I didn't show this in the last video. So maybe you want a border. See how it's, right now it's just the black background with the picture. I can put a border around that photo by clicking on it, coming over here to where it says border color. And maybe I'll do yellow. This one. And it doesn't look very yellow, like it's barely there. So I can go click on it again and do this next one that says border weight. And I can just play around with how big I want that size. Actually, that yellow looks a little bit lighter than the rest. Maybe I need to go back. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, and maybe I don't like that border's that thick. So again, I go through, I'm just being creative, just trying to make it look like what I want it to look like. This button right here, so you see there's two blue buttons right here. There's this one right there and one above. If you click the one above, you can rotate your photo. See how I clicked it and now I'm moving it around? So it would look like this. Anyway, if you don't like the way it's tilted, you can edit undo, or you can shrink it down again and tilt it however you want to do this. Okay, that top blue button is the rotate. All right, I'm going to try and go find some other photos, maybe of Ogden or St. George. So I'm going to go insert. So I'm not replacing this image, I'm adding another one. I'm going to go insert, image, search the web. And this time I'm going to maybe do the St. George one, St. George, Utah. Because those cities look quite different, right? St. George is known more for the red rock. So maybe I should find one that looks like the city of St. George. And I click it, I push insert. It's going to make it its own size that it wants to make. And I can rearrange that if I want by shrinking, moving it around, sorry. And if you do move it, you can cover things up. So you want to be careful that you're not covering up things that are important. And you can make it smaller, you can make it larger, right? You can have fun with that. You can also, here we go, you can add a border color. You can make it the same thickness or less, or however you want to do that. So there I have Salt Lake City, I have St. George. Oh, I forgot to look for Ogden, Park City, Provo. So you don't have to have photos of all of them, but this is just a way to insert lots of images. Search the web. This time maybe I'll do Park City. I'm just randomly picking a few. And a picture for that one might be this one that shows more of the city, not just the mountains. Oh, wow. That came really big. So I just shrink it down. Maybe I can make it small right there. Move it around. Put a border color on it. I would say if you're going to put maybe a border color, I would probably put a border on all of them, or maybe just the state capital or something like that. So I'm just putting a bunch of cities, and maybe I have a space for one more city. So if I look at it, I could do Provo or Ogden. I live closer to Provo, so I might go to Provo. Insert image, search the web, Provo, Utah. So whatever you talked about, your sentences might be very different than mine. Whatever you talked about, you need to put photos in of. Don't just put photos of cities if you didn't mention cities, okay? So if I'm trying to find a picture of Provo, maybe I should go Provo City. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, that's a little bit better. I was trying to find one that maybe had a picture of the Y on the mountain for Provo. Provo City Y. That helps. I have no idea. I can't really tell. It looks small. So I'll just push. Oh, it's letting me preview it first. That's pretty cool. That's a pretty good picture of Provo. But it's not my favorite because I want that Y mountain. And there's the Y mountain. There's BYU football. Could put that in. Maybe this one. I think that was the first one. So I'll just insert it. And it made it kind of small already, right? So maybe I'll tilt this one because that other one's tilted. Get a little bigger. Anyway, border color again. See, I'm going through all of these steps just to show you how you can put in lots of different photos too. You don't just have to have one photo or just the photo in the background. You can have lots of different photos. One thing for this is I might want to be clear about which city is which, because if I'm not from Utah, I have no idea which one of these cities is Salt Lake, which one of them is Provo. Are they all the same picture of a city, right? So one thing to do is maybe to label that. That's just a way for you to get extra points and really think through some professionalism. So to label things, you just insert text boxes and you draw the text box where you want it. And you can add, you can make it the same tilt as that one. And maybe I'll just type on it before you start typing, if you've got a black background, you're going to want to change that color to not be black. So I'll just change it to, maybe I'll do white for all the labeling. And I would just write Salt Lake City. But that's big. I think when you're doing it as a label, you don't need it quite so big. So it's hard to click in the box with this little red mouse thing. There we go. So highlight it. I would make it quite smaller. 10's pretty good. And I don't even need the box itself that big, so I can shrink the box down by using those little tools. And maybe I'm just trying to match the tilt of it. So there's Salt Lake City. And instead of like insert text box, blah, 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 you can always just click on the text box itself and on that movement bar and push Command C and click over here and push Command V. And it's going to copy the exact same text box for you. And that's just a little shortcut. This one's straight on. So if you remember, this city was St. George. Again, adding labels is going to be really important to photos that might be a little confusing. But like if I'm saying just the state bird is a seagull, I don't need a label for that. Or if I have just 1 or 2 photos of a squirrel, I don't need that. Remember, this used to be an elk. Maybe I should change that back to an elk. I think I should. Remember, you just go replace image. Search the web. Sorry. Where's my replace image? Replace image. Search the web. There we go. I accidentally pushed the X. Elk, Utah. And I think it was one of these. I'll do that one. Replace. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, so you can, if you're just going to have the one photo, you don't need a label, right? Even 1 or 2 is fine. But if I'm listing a bunch of cities, I think that's important to have a label. So again, if you want to just copy the text box, you push Command C and Command V, and then you can move it around. You want to match the tilt of your angle, or maybe you didn't tilt your photos. That's fine too. I'm going to label this. This one was Provo. So again, look, I'm not just writing Provo and then, oh, I'm done. I'm trying to make it look professional. I am centering it. I'm trying to move it to where it looks good on the photo. I click off of it. I think, oh yeah, that looks nice. Maybe you're like, oh, never mind. I want them underneath the photo. Whatever you want with that. You just want to be careful that you're not being messy and leaving it really disorganized. Okay, that's something that you're going to be graded on, is the professionalism, and does it look nice, and did you take time to really make it be unique and look nice. Okay, so again, just adding these little labels. There we go. So now it's clear about which of these cities are. Okay, so in this video we learned how to insert multiple photos, how to put borders on photos. I could even put a border on my text box here, like this is what I want to stand out. And maybe I want to tie in all the white. So I could go, okay, let's insert a border. Let's make the border white. Let's make it thick, maybe really thick. Okay, or maybe that's just too many borders for you and you don't like it. So you can just push Command Z or up here, edit, undo. That's how you would do that. I think it's fine without the border, so I'm going to edit, undo again, and take off the border completely. Here's how you'll know what it looks like. See how it looks like it has a blue border right now? That's just the text box. So you just click off of it. Anyway, I think that looks pretty nice. It's different than the rest of these, and that's what I wanted to show you, was you can have your book all look like this. It's going to be pretty boring, right? If it all looks like this. So you would lose points on creativity and things like that. You can have them all look like this. This is definitely a more creative way to go about it, is to use the image as your background. But it's also very creative and clever to, if it's important to have multiple photos, then it might be important to do a background that's plain with lots of different photos in there. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody. I think the next one is for demographics. So this was the old version again of what we used to do. Remember that demographics is like the population and things like that. So you can see that instead of having, so those were real photos, But instead of having real photos for this, it was more clip art. And I had to be creative, like, okay, here's maybe a population map for Utah. And then here's a clip art of hands or of people together. So that's something that as you get going, you may have to be creative on even what photos you find. Right? So since I know D is for demographics, you might just find a picture of Utahns or something like that living together. I don't know what you want to do. But remember to create a new slide. You can duplicate whatever style of this you want. So you could duplicate this one. You can duplicate the other ones that you make, right? Remember, when you get this, when you get your ABC book on Google Classroom, all you are going to see is just the letter A. Ms. Fisher's not going to leave these ones on here for you. You're going to have to get creative and watch these videos and pause them and, rewatch them to know how to do some of this. I do want to show you kind of what you would do for looking for pictures that are not real pictures, right? Those clip art pictures. So let's copy one of these, maybe this one. Remember, I right click, duplicate it, and it's going to put it right underneath it. And that's a problem because I'm looking for the letter D as in dog. So I have A, B, B, and C. So the one that you want to move, you just click on it and drag it underneath that. So now I have at the top A, B, C, and I'm going to change this to D. So I like to change it real quick just so that I remember what I'm looking for. Yeah, that's going to be tricky. So I can expand the text box to make this all fit. Yeah. D is for demographics. And I don't want it orange. I just did orange. Well, I did red, orange, yellow. So maybe I'll do green on this one. I'm just going in rainbow order. You do not have to do that. You could keep all of them like going in red or something. Like, it doesn't matter to me on that one. You just choose. And I like that. Look, it's a darker green and a lighter green. It looks nice. I definitely am going to have to type new information about demographics, but I was trying to show you the having multiple pictures here. So I would go to slide, change background, and I'm going to choose an image, and I'm going to try and search for something pretty interesting. I'm going to search for Utah demographics 2019. Maybe they have some cool information for me. And as you can see, I don't get a lot of options here. I don't really love any of those things as far as what is Utah's demographics. So I don't know what this is. I can't quite tell. So I'll click on it and I'll insert it just to see what it is. I don't even know what it is. Then I click done. This is totally not, this is something about like people who have degrees or not. So if I don't like it, edit, undo. And maybe I'll go back in here and I didn't love what I searched for. So I'll change the background, choose an image, and do Utah population map. And maybe not. Maybe I won't search the year on that. Utah population map. Here we go. Look, there's that same one. So if your state is Hawaii or Colorado or Tennessee or Nebraska, whatever it is, you just type your state in. So if I do this one, I'm curious what it will look like when I put it in here. Remember, you always push done. Yeah, it really stretched it out. Let me just show you. So this was done in 2000. It kind of showed you the picture, but look how stretched out that looks. That does not look very professional. So on this one, I might want to do just a plain background. So I'll go slide, change background, and I will choose it just to be a color. And I don't want to do black. I just did black. Maybe I will do, I don't know. How about like a yellow? Oh, I did yellow. How about, see, I know the picture is going to be green, so I don't love the green. Maybe red. I'll do a plain red background. Done. Okay. D is for demographics. Now I will go to insert the image from the computer. Nope, I'm sorry, not from the computer. That is trying to pull an image from your own computer. So, you know what would be super cool is if you've ever been to your state, that's something that you could do. I'll show you that. if you've ever been to your state before, you could find a photo of you in the state from there, or a picture that your parents have of that state, and that you could import it in from your computer. So here's all these pictures of things. I have a picture of Case, and we could import in there. But you don't have to. You don't have to do that if you've never been to your state, especially. But it would be cool if you have real photos that you could import in there. You could do that. But what you need to do, is insert an image from the web. Search the web. And here, remember, I think I did Utah population map. Remember? Let's see what comes up here. It's a good one. Ooh, there was that white one. I think I like the white one better. I don't know. Oh, look. Let me pick two. I'm curious what will happen. I picked two. I've never done that before. Oh, cool. And now I can maybe choose which one I like better. Does it let me? Yeah, let's see, separate them. This is in 2010, and this one was 2000. So use your brain on this. What would be better to use? The most recent one or one that was 20 years ago? One that is the most recent. So get rid of that one. Oh, I think it looks kind of cool, actually. So there's the map. D is for demographics. Kind of looks like Christmas back behind here, huh? I don't think I love that it's red because it does look like Christmas. Sorry, changing it. Slide. Change background. I don't want it gray either because there's that gray of the picture. So, sorry, I will change the color. Man, black is probably going to look the best again. Or maybe a light blue. I don't really know. You know what? We actually could do a lighter yellow. Yeah. D is for demographics. There's that. And then leave it as light yellow. So, you can leave it, like this information, but remember, you still have to have, you have to talk about the demographics and talk about what the populations are and stuff. So maybe I would put this information at the top. Sorry. D is for, so you're just moving things. And sometimes it can be frustrating. Like you go to move a box and you weren't actually in the moving tool. So the moving tool is by finding that little cursor and moving it up. D is for demographics. And I think that makes this corner look pretty plain, but I'm going to insert a text box where I can type in all my information about the demographics. Okay, blah, 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 blah. And I get my 3 to 5 sentences in here. Whatever you researched and wrote, I would type that in there. Maybe I'm going to make it bold. Whoops, edit, undo. See, I did something I didn't want to do. Maybe I would make it bold. I'm going to put all my information in there. But I'm trying to show you maybe some other things to put in here. Might be like a picture of people that live in Utah. So I could go insert image, search the web, and I could just do, I'm just curious what would happen if I did population of Utah. Lots of things come up with this, right? What if I did people of Utah? There's people at the Color Fest. That'd be pretty cool. That happens in, I think it's like Springville area. Wow. You guys ever heard of that before? They're not following social distancing guidelines, huh? Just kidding. So I could do that, right? I could put in a picture of lots of people if I wanted. Or if I decide, never mind, I don't like that, I could replace the image or delete it. There's just so many things that you can do with this. I could do actually population, watch this, clip art. And it doesn't have to be a real photo. Look, it could be just people. Lots of different things you could do. I could replace the image with that. I don't know why it didn't let me make it taller. I don't want it. Okay, I don't love that. I'm going to insert that image instead of replace it. So insert the image, search the web, and then I just did population. Was that it? I can't remember. Population clip art? Sure, yeah. And, it wasn't exactly this one, but I like it, so I'll click that. Insert. And now it's going to be that normal size. Before I was trying to fit it to the size I had. Like I had a square size. So I'm going to try to make it smaller. Okay, that's only moving it. So I click on the corner, make it smaller. Yikes. Edit undo. I love edit undo. It's like my favorite thing. Okay, so this is just a way to show you, look, you can have real pictures, label your cities, you can use clip art images. This would definitely have more information. Remember, it's going to be a lot of this, 3 to 5 sentences. That space would be filled up with your typing. Okay. So that's a good way to do demographics. So again, you're not going to see this when you get into Google Classroom. You're going to have to watch the video to learn these things. That's part of you being responsible. Something I want you to be really, really clear on for this video. You need to have it be professional, creative. It needs to not be super busy. It needs to look professional. That's the bottom line. But you also need to be careful about what you capitalize. See how I capitalized the D and demographics? I did not capitalize the is for on any of them. Take a look. Right? I had very clear sentences, capital letters on proper nouns, names of cities. I capitalized the beginning of every sentence. I have punctuation. I still need to go find the population of Salt Lake City. There's things that you have to be careful of as your writing grade and to look professional. You need to have your sentences. They have to have commas if necessary. Your sentences need to make sense and should have details, like for the elk, right? Elk are the second largest member of the deer family. Why didn't I say elks are? It's because I found and researched that to make the word elk plural, you just leave it as elk. So things like that you will get docked points for if you have not used grammatically correct words, if you haven't spelled them correctly, if you don't use capital letters with punctuation. You will lose points for not having enough creativity or having too much and it looks too crazy and busy. So be careful and go methodical. Only do what you're assigned to do on that day. Do not go ahead. I would rather have you spend time going back and adding things like labels and learning how to tilt your photos, right? I would like you to go back and spend more time on it looking professional rather than you hurrying through and finishing your book. So again, don't go ahead. Stick with what is listed as required or due. And spend the rest of your time, if you want to be doing more on the state report, then spend the time making it look professional. Okay? Go back and watch these videos anytime you want. But right now, I'm going to go and delete all of these. You're going to watch me delete them. What if you delete something you didn't want to? Edit, undo. Okay? Don't ever, ever panic. So I'm going to delete these. Let me show you what will happen, actually. Let's go back. Let me show you what will happen if you play around with the theme. Kind of like in your Adobe Spark video, if you set the theme at the beginning, it is what is going to happen to all of your slides. So let's say I set the theme over here and I decide, oh wait, on this next one, I want it to look like this. And I just click that. Look what happens to all of my photos right here. Okay. So if I go here, it changed the background to this theme. It also got rid of my is for. This one looks like that. It's covering the picture of the bird. This one just has like designs in the back, which that's pretty cool on that one. This one got rid of my text completely. So I think what I'm trying to say to you is don't do the themes. I really wouldn't for right now. See, look, that changed all of it. A is for animal. It kept everything on that one. That's good. That's not good. See? So unless you want them all to look the same or similar, so what the theme is on this one is just having a colored bar across the bottom, right? But again, if you did that and you hate it, you can edit, undo. I hope so. Edit, did that undo it? Yes, it did. Oh, okay. A is for animal, B is for bird, C is for cities, D is for demographics. Oh, it didn't keep my blah, 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 blah. Where'd that go? Did I accidentally delete that before? Oh yeah, I was deleting things anyway. Sorry. There you go. Okay, so I would not mess around with the themes. In fact, I would just X that out so you're not even tempted to mess with that. Okay, but try to make sure you see this over here. You know, I don't know, other than you just get to spend time being creative. Have a good time with this. Only do the letters you're supposed to, okay? Watch these videos whenever you need help with how to put things, how to insert pictures or text box, how to do multiple, change the background, make them tilted, add labels, all of that kind of stuff, okay? Have a great time with it. Here we go. Delete, delete, delete. This is what you'll be left with on Google Classroom. It's what you'll start with. Good luck to everybody. Fill in your own information, or you can totally be like, I don't like this one, that's for sure, and I want to completely change it. And that is awesome. That shows me that you've got good technology skills. So you could go in and say, no, I don't want the letter A to look this boring for mine. I want to put a bunch of photos of different animals from Utah. Or I want to change the whole background. Remember, slide, change background. I want to change the whole background to be an elk. It really is just fine for you to make it different. I want you to make it different. I want this project of yours to be fun for you and to get to be creative. So you really can change this to be anything you want. I can even put a picture of an elk on top of a picture of an elk. That would be fine. I don't love this elk picture back here because it looks super stretched. Right? That's not a good professional look. So slide, change background. So you can just play around with this until you find one that maybe wouldn't look so stretched. Like maybe that one. Let's see what that one looks like. Yeah, that's a little better. And I could move this around because, oh, I don't like that that's in the way anymore. So you get to be creative and you get to move things where you want to move things and delete things and all of that. It just has to have some basic things on there on every page. It has to have the letter. It has to have is for, has to have what it stands for. I'm looking for the 3 to 5 sentences typed correctly, spellings correct. It looks professional and that kind of stuff. So you're going to have a great time with this. I know you will. I'm excited to see what everybody can come up with for their A to Z book. So good luck, everybody. Have a great time, and we'll talk to you later.